What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blueblood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, undefeated 3-division world champion, superstar boxer, former junior welterweight undisputed world champion, currently the reigning WBO welterweight world champion, who is widely considered by many to be the #1 best pound-for-pound fighter in the world, and Terence Crawford. He weighs in on the junior middleweight division and the showdown that took place last night, between two title contenders, and it was an action-packed fight between the towering Inferno, Sebastian Fundora, 19 wins, no losses, 1 draw, 13 wins by way of knockout, 24 years of age, 6'6", with an 80-inch arm reach. He took on once beaten Erickson Lubin, who is 24 wins, 1 loss, no draw, 17 wins by way of knockout. Now, 2 times in his career, he was knocked out 5'9.5" with a 74-inch arm reach, okay? In this fight, it was an action-packed fight. It saw Erickson Lubin get dropped early in the fight. It saw Erickson Lubin drop Sebastian Fundora in the 7th round, and ultimately Erickson Lubin got stopped in the 9th round of the fight, okay? But Erickson Lubin, he took a lot of punishment in this fight. Brutal fight. A lot of vicious uppercuts on the inside. He was dropped, he was wobbled. His face looked dismantled, okay? His jaw looked broken, his nose looked broken, his eyes were swollen. Sebastian Fundora, on the inside, most people complain about Sebastian Fundora not fighting his height, okay, giving up his advantages. But Sebastian Fundora is very crafty and very skilled on the inside, better than what most people give him credit for, okay? I personally, for one, didn't think that Sebastian Fundora was that good on the inside, but he's very accurate on the inside. He throws little choppy hooks, little uppercuts on the inside. He's very calculated on the inside. Obviously, he's very rangy, very tall, okay? And so with that said, Terence Crawford, he weighed in, and he said that Sebastian Fundora is a cheat code. He's a guy that you create on a video game that's extremely tall, extremely long, extremely rangy, but fighting in the small and the low weight classes. And that's exactly what Sebastian Fundora is, and that's exactly what Sebastian Fundora does, okay? He's very big, very rangy, very tall, but he has power, okay? And he's accurate with his punches, and he's a dog. He's game on the inside. Lubin has a lot of power, okay? Now, obviously, Lubin, he was knocked out in his career by a 2-time junior middleweight world champion, who is currently the unified junior middleweight world champion, superstar boxer Jamel Lions Only Charlo, who is actually going into a massive undisputed fight with WBO junior middleweight world champion Brian Castano. That's a rematch of their first fight that ended in a draw, okay? So Jamel Charlo, he knocked out Erickson Lubin early in his career. That was back in 2017. Jamel Charlo knocked him out in the 1st round. And he's, people thought since then he's been showing that he's pretty chinny, okay? He's been knocked down since then. He's been wobbled since then. But Erickson Lubin is very skilled, very technically sound, very sharp, southpaw with power, okay? And, he ran into a situation where, in my opinion, I thought he made the fight harder than it needed to be. I thought Erickson Lubin didn't use his legs enough, okay? He started off well, jabbing to the solar plate, countering, coming back up top. But you could see that he was very eager with his punches to come, to the head of Sebastian Fundora. And he stated that he was going to fight on the inside. He was going to mix it up. He was leaping with hooks. He was looking to catch Fundora early, but he should have stayed with the initial game plan. It looked like the jab to the solar plex, chop him down, chop down the tree, okay? Go to the body with hooks, go to the body back up top with combinations, throw flurries. But he didn't do that, okay? He decided that he wanted to go chest to chest with a guy who is 9 inches taller than him, 8 inches taller than he is, okay, 6'6", he's at 5'9", so he's about 7-8 inches taller than Lubin, that has a 6-inch arm reach advantage, right? But you're the better athlete, okay? He's more accurate with his punches from the outside. So he should have, Sebastian Fundora, that's his game, to fight on the inside, okay? And Lubin was jabbing to the solar plex, hiding his punches, and then countering with the left hook. That's how he dropped Sebastian Fundora in the 7th round. but he got away from the game plan. He started waiting for the receipt. He started staying in the pocket, okay? He would catch Fundora with a combination, boom, 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 and he would stand right there and wait for the receipt, wait for Fundora to come back with something, and then get caught with 2-3 uppercuts or uppercuts and hooks on the inside, okay? Where he just didn't have to do that. He could have made it easier for himself. And I feel like Erickson Lubin made it hard on himself. He played into the hands of Sebastian Fundora. His game plan, his strength is to fight on the inside. His strength is to get physical. His strength is to, make it a dogfight. Oddly enough, his strength is not to use his size and not to use his reach and not to use his advantage, his height, okay? He likes to fight on the inside. He's game, okay? And so he's a typical Mexican style fighter, but he's just 6'6" and very rangy, very slim, slender build, okay? But that's not, so if you fight with somebody, if Lubin was fighting a Mexican style pressure fighter that is, his height, at 5'9" or 5'10", he would utilize his abilities to move around the ring, utilize his legs, okay? But in this case, for whatever reason, Lubin, I thought that Sebastian Fundora was weak. I feel like he feels like he could, break him down on the inside. He underestimated Sebastian Fundora's toughness, his power, and his ability to box on the inside, okay? Because when Sebastian Fundora fought other guys, he was getting caught on the inside, okay? So with that said, I believe that Erickson Lubin underestimated him. And, he gave up his advantage, oddly enough, right? His advantage was to box on the outside, to use the jab to the solar plex, go to the jab to the solar plex, go to straight right hand to the solar plex, straight left hand to the solar plex. He was quicker than Sebastian Fundora. Counterfeit Sebastian Fundora every now and then on the inside, but for the most part, don't just stand on the inside and wait for the receipt. He was high guarded, and his defense was not very effective, right? He was getting caught on the inside with uppercuts. Sebastian Fundora was going right through his high guard, right through his gloves, and he was catching the hooks and uppercuts brutal on the inside, okay? And so with that said, I just feel like, Sebastian Fundora, that's his strength to fight on the inside. And it's odd because the guy was 6'6" with an arm reach and a height advantage as he does. You would think that Sebastian Fundora is key, to fight on the outside with that height advantage and that arm reach advantage. But his advantage actually is on the inside. That's where he does his best work, is on the inside, okay? And so with that said, I felt like, oddly enough, Erickson Lubin, he gave up his advantages, which is to fight on the inside, okay? To fight on the outside and utilize his legs and his hand speed and his foot speed, okay? Sebastian Fundora is very flat-footed. Jab to the solar plex, straight left hand to the solar plex, and then every now and then when you're on the inside, you counter him, okay? Which is interesting for Terence Crawford to say he's a creative player, he's a cheat code, because Terence Crawford has plans to go up from welterweight 147 to go up to 54, and that's where Sebastian Fundora campaigned. So for Terence Crawford to say this guy's a cheat code and he's like a creative player, and with power, it's odd because Terence Crawford is only at 5'8" with a 74-inch arm, so he's actually an inch shorter than Lubin. But I think that Terence Crawford will understand. Terence Crawford has the ability to fight from southpaw to orthodox switch. Terence Crawford can utilize his legs if he need to. I think that Terence Crawford wouldn't allow himself, I think his ring IQ would allow him to just stand in the pocket like Lubin was just standing in the pocket. Terence Crawford will understand that I can use my jab, I can use his height against him. He wants to get on the inside and mix it up, and I could fight him, on the outside, and then every now and then, once we get close on the inside, then I'll fight him on the inside. But Lubin, there was plenty of times it was frustrating to watch Lubin catch him with combinations and then stand right there and wait for the receipt, opposed to getting out, utilizing your legs, move around, dictate the pace of the fight and force him to follow you, okay? Force him to fight and use his height. Clearly, that's not what he wants to do. He wants to fight on the inside. Lubin gave away his advantages to beat, Fundora, and ultimately it cost him a stoppage victory. Even when he stopped Fundora, you can see the game plan, jab to the soulplex, mix it up, and he couldn't see the punches, but he gave away his advantages and he got stopped. Terence Crawford, be a complete size disadvantage, but I think Terence Crawford would be smart enough to mix it up, fight mainly on the outside. But that's all I got for y'all. Make sure you hit the like button, drop a comment in the comment section, let me know what y'all think. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue, Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon.
Stop Jamaica.
Follow me on Instagram, Blue Blood Sports TV, all the word. Y'all already know what it is. Shout out to the entire LDBC. Shout out to the media. Shout out to Black Media Row. Make sure you like and share videos. That's all I got for you. Peace.